tired. Give me a second. All right. Sorry about that. Um, I want to start off by saying, Kol Loyimla Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Barakah Nash, giving double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, great millstone. God be blessings and salutations to the elect out there. Excuse me a little bit. I'm a little bit tired. Just a little bit. I found this video. I was seeing in my recommendations on YouTube, and it's from his brother, this Jake. I guess he was a Navy person. North Carolina, you know. He was he was in the military over there in North Carolina, and he was talking about his experience. He was talking about his experience. You're in the South. Um, real quick, let me get this Sundown Towns map. Okay, because the Sundown Township is still here and never went away. And what people don't understand is that like on my nose and stuff. That's Satan. Esau's hatred never went away. You know, Esau's hatred never went away. Let's go to the book of, I think it's Sirach, the 11th chapter, where it talks about trust not thine enemy. Or I think it's the 8th chapter. Oh, Sirach 12, right? Let's read Sirach 12, verse GNT. In the GNT, right? This is Sirach 12, verse. Excuse me, sorry. This is a verse 10. Never trust an enemy, right? His wickedness is as destructive as rust, okay? When you read it in the KJV, it says, as iron rusteth, so does his wickedness, right? So when you have a piece of iron, when it's first created, it's new, it's shiny, right? The metal is shiny. But as, oxidation takes place, right? Read all about it. It's science, chemistry, oxidation, right? Rust appears on the iron. Okay, so that's how Esau is. When you first meet him, he's all shiny, he's all new, he's all clean, right? His whole outward appearance is sparkling clean. But later on, you will see the ugliness inside. It comes out. It talks about it. Let's get this real quick. Can a leopard change his spots? Yep. This is Jeremiah 13, verse 23. This can an Ethiopian change his skin, because the Ethiopians are known as being dark, right? These Africans, Somalians, they are descendants of Cush. I think Kum means hot, and Kush, I think Ethiopia means like burnt or something, and I forgot what it was. Or the leopard his spots, right? Or the leopard his spots. Then may ye also do good. May ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil, right? So them that are accustomed to do good, can they do that are accustomed to do evil. Can they do good? No. They will always be accustomed to doing evil. It's within their genetic makeup. Within their genetic makeup, okay? Within their genetic makeup. Now, let me see. Let me see. Where you got this map right? This is from the map key. I'm a little bit tired, so bear with me. I'm about to lesson now. Zoom out. Please come on. Zoom out. Good. 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 Look at that. Look at that. All that in Midwest. All those sundown towns. All of there. Okay? This was during the time, after the 60s, the civil rights eras, right? These devils, even after, they gave us our so-called rights, there were particular neighborhoods, right, where you weren't allowed in as a person of color. And if they seen you there, they would kill you. That's how deep Esau's hatred went for us, right? That's how deep it went. These people wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop at all. They would not stop. Okay, so they had set up a lot of these sundown towns to stop our people from moving to their neighborhoods and to keep their towns clean. That's why you see some small towns to this day where there's still like 100% Caucasian or white. Shut up. 100% Caucasian and white. Okay. Let's go to the book of Sirach, the 12th chapter. All right, go back. Verse 11. It says, watch out and be on guard against him, even if he acts ever so humble. Because, this brother, right, he's talking about his experience in the South. He thought him being in the military, him fighting for his country, right, that would earn some type of respect, right, from... They still hate him. Hatred towards him. They didn't love him at all, And this is the reality of the situation within Babylon, all right? And when I was reading the comments, you have a lot of people testifying, saying that they had their officers, NCOs, telling them to be careful, because you had some guys in their units who were racist, right? As they say, racist, and they wanted to kill them, okay? But the Jakes didn't know, so they had their officers come warn them to be careful when around their units. This is the reality of the situation within Babylon, all right? This whole idea that people from different races, and when I mean by race, I mean not by skin color, but bloodline, right? People of different races by bloodline can just come together and mingle and do all these different things. That's fairy tale, because Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh Shai, as it says, he divided the nations. Let's get that. God. This is Deuteronomy 32, verse 8. It says, when the Most High divided the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob, Israel, is the lot of his inheritance. So there you go. Okay, There you go. Let's read in the GNT. The Most High assigned nations their lands. He determined where peoples should live. He assigned to each nation a heavenly being, which is like a god, right? Um, he assigned the sky, the waters, the earth as gods over the nation, but Jacob's descendants he chose for himself. So the Lord's portion will always be Israel. All right, the Lord's portion will always be Israel. Okay, they're chosen by Yahweh Shemi Ashai. Okay. Verse 11. Watch out and be on guard against him. Even he acts ever so humble, he is like a metal mirror that rusts away if you don't keep it polished. Ooh, a metal mirror that rusts away if you don't keep it polished. So over time, you will see his hatred, and that's what these people are seeing. Let's read some of the comments. It says, I was stationed in Fort Polk. This is Louisiana, 1989, 91. This is recent. The place to avoid was Pitkin, LA. I was always careful when I had to drive through there and pray that my car didn't stall. There were towns all the way from the post to Lafayette, LA 10, that was known to be Klan strongholds. I got the same thing. Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri in 2006. I was stationed at Fort Bragg in the late 90s as a soldier in the camp of June. As a Marine in the late 2000s, as a black service member, I knew not to visit small towns outside of Fayetteville and Jacksonville. Every 4-day weekend, I was on 95 northbound back to New York. I never had any racial incidents, but knew the potential was there, right? Even now, when I visit family and friends and see in Georgia, I remain vigilant, right? So these are people that are in the military that faced racism, right? But they tell you that shit doesn't exist. People may not be in the KKK, but the racist still infiltrates law enforcement, criminal justice system, DA, judges, schools, etc. Sounds like Johnson County, NC, they definitely had a sign like that, right? Called the Sundown Town. Yeah, right. I'm a Gen X. I was stationed in Virginia 11 years before you were in North Carolina. I used to go with my roommate to North Carolina. I had no idea. I was called a nigger by a car full of white dudes. I made a motion like was going to chase them, and they took off. Sparks flew from the bottom of the car like they actually thought I was going to catch the car. Yep, so this is what's going on, This is what's going on. All right? This is what's going on. All right? We have a lot of tensions, right, within the military, right? Navy veteran, I served in military in Tennessee back in 82. There were signs saying niggers, sailors, and dogs stay off the grass. I always wondered how the dogs felt after reading those signs. Yep. 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 In the South, there are still a lot of straight up the north as well. Midwest. That's right. Yep. Yep. The KK has become a joke over the years, but other groups have come along. Yep. This is true. All right. And our people are not aware of this, Our people are not aware. They think, after, was it MLK or whatever that dude's name is, he just came in and his son, I had a dream. That everything just stopped. Nope. Our people are still getting lynched to this day. Till this day. What's happening to this devil? They were giving this devil some places of honor and whatnot, this devil eventually overtook them. Same thing happened to the dark ages. Scripture says never trust thine enemy. All right, but our people, they always fail to understand. It says in the book of Psalms, right? Let's get that. Psalms, his words, right, were smoother than butter. This is Psalms 55, verse 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So this has always been a thing, right? This has always been a thing. This has always been a thing ever since, Mo. They really had a thing of talking with smooth words, but planning in their mind to pretty much overtake you. Okay? And the men of the Lord, you believers out there, you know who the enemy is, but a lot of our people, they don't know who the enemy is. Okay? And it starts with knowing who you are. That you're a Hebrew Israelite from your respective tribes, right? That you are a son and a daughter of the Most High, right? Of the highest power. All right? And that you need to know who your power is, which is Yahweh. And his son's name is Yahushua. All right? Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and the son's name is Yahushua. But a lot of our people are going to reject that. They're going to reject that just like how they rejected Yahushua. And they said, let his blood be upon us and our children. So, hey, the judgment will come, right? But as for us, as it says, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. The household of faith will serve Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right, let's get real quick. This is Psalms 44, verse 13. It says, thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. All right, a scorn and a derision. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Right? They make us as a what? As an infamy amongst the people. When you look up the word infamy, when you look up the word infamy, when you look at the word infamy, it means a public disgrace, dishonor, evil fame. From Old French infamie, dishonor, infamous person, and directly from Latin infamia, ill fame, bad repute, dishonor, disreputable, notorious. So we're looked at as something that's vile, something that's not looked upon with honor. Okay, that all comes down to the curses. Scripture says, right? Let's get that. Let's get that. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. So all the other nations, right, will get above the children of the Most High. And thou shalt come down very low, right? Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Okay? So we have come down very low, and we are the tail amongst the nations, And because of that, of our people being in a low state, let's get this scripture. Right? Let's get this scripture. Right? Let's go back to Psalms 44. Verse 14, thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. So there you go. We have become a byword and a shaking amongst the people. Yep. We're not liked. We're not favorited. We're not appreciated. We're not liked. We are hated. We are hated amongst the nations of the world. They don't respect us. Look what happened to Terrence Crawford when he went back to Nebraska. He's a boxing champion, but so there you go. We are still hated. It doesn't matter how far you get into society, right? It doesn't matter how far you get into society, you will always be hated for who you are, for your bloodline, right? It's not because of your skin color. That shit is nonsense, right? Because if it was for the skin color, okay, then they would have gave Jake some lightning cream to get rid of their melanin, but it's not because of their skin color. All right, it's because of who you are. The war between the tribes, right, and Edom has been going on since the womb. Has been going on ever since the garden. The serpent and the seed of the woman, right? It goes deep. So there's this hatred, this struggle as has has been a long struggle, right? And then it came back through Cain and Abel, right? Cain slew Abel, right? And then it came back again through Esau and Jacob. Okay, Esau and Jacob. And the descendants right now, they're living out that hatred, okay? So you as a Hebrew Israelite, you need to understand, it doesn't matter what you do in society, these people will never respect you. They will never respect you, right? And the only way we're going to overcome is not by fucking marching. It's not by getting together with political parties. It's not by voting. It's through the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Let's go ahead and get this scripture real quick, which is fresh off my mind. Psalms 18. Psalms 18. Head of the heathen. Head of the heathen. This is Psalms 18, verse 43. It says, Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people, and thou hast made me the head of the heathen. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves unto me. Okay? And this is King David, right? Let me see who wrote this song. I can't really see it. It might be a song of Asaph. Okay? Verse 46, The Lord liveth, Yahweh Bashmi Ashai, and blessed be my rock, and let the power of my salvation be exalted. It is Yahweh that avengeth me, and subdueth the people under me. Ooh, the Lord. All right? He delivered me from mine enemies. Yea, thou liftest me up above those that rise up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent men. Therefore will I give thanks unto thee, O Yahweh Shemi Ashai, among the heathen, and sing praises unto thy name. Okay? So he's the one that gives the deliverance. All right? The deliverance. And deliverance is coming for Jacob from their enemies. Verse 50, Great deliverance giveth he to his king, and showeth mercy to his anointed, to David, and to his seed forevermore. All right? Let's get this scripture, Psalms. Through thy name, right? I love the scripture. Through thy name. This is Psalms 44, verse 5. It says, Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. Right? Verse 4, For thou art my king, O Yahweh, command deliverances for Jacob. I want to read this in the GNT, okay? The GNT. A prayer for protection. Verse 5. Verse 4, it says, You are my king and my power. You give victory to your people, and by your power we defeat our enemies. Okay? I do not trust in my bow or my sword to save me, but you have saved us from our enemies and delivered those and defeated those who hate us. Okay? So there you go. Okay? Through the name of Yahweh Shemashah, will we tread our enemies underfoot. Let's read it in the NLT. Psalms 44, verse 4, it says, You are my king and my power. You command victories for Israel. Only by your power can we push back our enemies. Only in your name can we trample our foes. I do not trust in my bow, and I do not count on my sword to save me. You are the one who gives us victory over our enemies. you disgrace those that hate us. Call Allah Yamla Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh, giving double honors to apostles, bishops, and elders to be millstone. Why? Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect out there. Shalom. Why? Abba. Shalom. All right. For any of you Israelites out there, that that are still, down for the system, down for this man, you better, as the scripture says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. You better spiritually detach from the system. Do what you got to do to feed your family, but spiritually detach from the system, because we are behind enemy lines, all right, and we're getting ready to be delivered. The scripture says, the prisoner hasteneth that he may be loose, and that he shall not die in the pit. So with that, I'm going to say, Shalom, Wa, Abba, Shalom.